Are you Dorian Murphy?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state opposes your application. Parties waived PSI. Are there any witnesses from either side?
Judge, the witness that would be presented to the court would be the defendant himself, Mr. Murphy. He's told me that before we...
He's 27 years old, quiet, polite, and standing before a judge who already knows his story doesn't add up. Dorian Murphy is pleading no contest to a threat that could have ended lives. All over, just $63. But this isn't your average courtroom apology. This is a man trying to convince a judge that one violent message doesn't define who he is. What you're about to watch is tense, unpredictable, and painfully human. A plea for mercy wrapped in regret. As you watch, ask yourself, does he deserve a second chance, or is this just another manipulative performance from a man who's gone too far?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Dorian Latrell Murphy.
Dorian, I'm going to ask you some questions. I want you to kind of answer in the direction of the judge, even though I'm standing next to you. She's the one that needs to hear your answers. And of course, when I finish, the young lady to your left, to your right, is going to be allowed to ask a question on behalf of this district attorney's office. Okay?
Okay.
Dorian, do you have any kind of job situation lined up? Would you tell the court about that?
I was working at Komori over there in 1604 in Culebra, along with Bowl and Barrel on near Lock and Terra area.
You said Bowl and Barrel was the second one. What was the first one?
Komori.
Komori?
Yes.
Can you spell that?
Kumori.
What is that
A
exactly?
Japanese cuisine, sushi and steakhouse.
What kind of work were you doing over there?
I was a cook, a line cook,
How long had you been over at the first place, Komori?
for about 7 months.
And was that a full-time job?
Yes, sir.
So you were a cook, full-time job, making the different dishes that they served over there?
Yes, sir.
Say the location again for us.
I was near 1604 in Culebra.
Thank you. What was the second place? The
Bowl and Barrel over there.
Bowl and Barrel.
And Lock and Terra was a dishwasher.
Okay. What kind of place is that? Is that a big restaurant over there?
It's slash restaurant and then collided with a bowling alley.
Okay, so that explains the bowl part.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
How long had you been over there?
For 4 months.
And that was a dishwashing job, you said?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you were released to be on probation, is that the type of job skills that you possess as being a cook?
Yes, sir.
And it sounds like are you restricted to just one type of restaurant, or could you go to any other restaurant?
I
If
could
so,
go-
what would those be?
I could go to different types of locations. I can go to Aston's Creek over there on 1604. I can go to PF Chang's on Lock and Terra. And I believe one more, but I can't remember at the top of my head currently.
How old are you now?
I'm 27.
How long have you been engaged in that type of work?
Since I was 18.
Did you finish high school?
No, sir.
Was that here in San Antonio?
I was homeschooled.
Oh, okay. Now, what kind of support do you have if you're released from jail?
My mother, my grandmother, my uncles, and my aunts.
Are they here in San Antonio?
Yes, sir.
All of them?
Yes, sir.
Now, have you talked to them about it? If you were released, could you just suddenly appear at their door and be able to at least have a place to sleep and eat and report to
Have a
probation?
place to sleep and everything, and then potential job opportunities lined up.
So you'd have a phone and everything where you could answer those questions that if you put in an application, you'd be available to get right on those jobs, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have transportation?
Yes.
How would that be arranged? Is that you or your mom, or who is that?
Currently would be with my brother.
Okay. To get to the jobs, right?
Yes, sir. If
What,
not, then public transportation such as the bus.
so do they live, what part of town roughly do they live in? You're talking about all these restaurants.
Northeast side for my aunt and then my uncle, and then northwest side for my mother and my grandmother.
So some in the proximity of the restaurants that you're referring to, although.
Walking distance, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Tell us a little bit, this case, you freely entered into a plea on this case. Do you have any remorse? What's your position about what you did
I had a
wrong?
lot of time to think about my actions and know that I need to have a better handle over my tongue, know that there are consequences to my actions as well. All I'm asking for is a second chance. I know what I said and everything was wrong, and definitely took this opportunity as a learning experience.
This was a bunch of threats to a some type of a I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. I know the
The
name.
Cash App chat bot, sir.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but let's don't get into that. But you were frustrated for some reason. Is that what occurred here?
Yes, sir.
And it was because you thought that something had occurred that you had been
Right.
taken, excuse me.
My money being taken away from me.
Okay,
But I was mistaken on it. I should have waited and evaluated it before speaking.
okay. So you deeply regret what happened.
Yes,
You've
sir.
also had a little bit of a history too. We went over that before we entered our plea and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
You seem like you're the kind of person that might not have a drug problem. Do you have a drug problem or not?
Only with THC weed, but it's not. I've never had a problem. I can go off of it when needed to, and I plan to. I've been clean this long, so
So addiction wise, meth, cocaine,
I don't have any drug problems with
Okay.
those.
so, okay, just the ones that would be of an emotional or a nature that would be a stabilizing type of drug, even though it's illegal, right?
Yes, sir.
And you would be willing to stay off that, correct?
Yes, sir.
The judge would order it if you're on probation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
No, there would be consequences if you turned up with any of that in your system. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Understand that in the job environment, that might be available. I'm not saying it's in every restaurant, but it might be, you might be around people that would have that and tempt you with that. Would you be able to resist that type of approach? Somebody
sir.
tempting you?
Yes, sir. I would be able to resist and make sure to stick to what I'm needing to keep myself stable and out of jail and doing the things that I need to do to take care of my family.
Is there anything that the judge needs to know that I have not talked about that you feel like Her Honor needs to know?
No, sir.
Okay. You seem very well spoken for someone that, when you say you're homeschooled, but you didn't finish high school, you certainly don't sound like that, in my opinion. Do you read a lot or how
Yes,
do you?
sir. I read a lot. I'll go to the library occasionally, pick out books. I like to read. Knowledge is power, I believe. So
Thank you. The young lady I spoke to you about, please answer her questions with the appropriate, polite answers and listen to her questions, okay?
yes, sir.
Pass away, Sean.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Murphy, how much money was it that you were so upset over?
I believe around $63 at the time.
$63.
Yes, ma'am.
So you threatened to shoot up a gas station and kill a bunch of people over $63.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that you understand that your actions have consequences. Have you considered how the individuals who were made aware of your threats may have been affected by?
So far, it sounds convincing. A hard-working line cook, a family waiting to help, and steady employment lined up. But when the questioning turns to remorse and responsibility, Dorian's story begins to wobble. He admits his threats, blames frustration, and calls it a learning experience. Yet this is where every judge listens the closest, because anyone can sound sorry. The real question is, has he actually changed?
Have a little bit of a history for assault, do you not?
Yes, ma'am.
When you were a juvenile,
Yes, ma'am.
you were placed on deferred adjudication or deferred prosecution for assault public servant
Yes, ma'am.
and assault against a family member.
Yes, ma'am.
One moment. Given your history for violence and your apparent short fuse, what assurances does the court have that if she grants you probation, that you won't have a short fuse again and commit an act of violence as we know you're prone to do?
Me doing the time in the bid that I've done now, I'm having a lot of time to think. I also have a newborn, going to be born on November 14th. lot of other variables from family and just evaluating my life that's going to make sure and ensure that I need to get a tight grip and a tight handle on the situation before I speak and before I act.
Nothing further.
One last question, going back from today, how long have you been in the jailhouse?
About 4 months now.
Thank you. We have no further questions or decision.
I have a couple of questions if there's no objection.
No objection.
Oh, sorry. No.
All right, this is what I'm trying to figure out. Why did you text them and tell them to look my name up on Google for capital murder? So was there ever a capital murder involved?
I haven't Googled him, Your Honor.
And I'm just, what's in the stipulations? You sent message and you said, look my name up on Google for capital murder. So has anyone done that?
I'm thinking there was a charge, but I know it never went anywhere, but I can't remember exactly. I remember asking him about that. And I don't know if that was a mistake. We didn't pursue it because the DA didn't seem to know anything. But I didn't talk to this district attorney about it.
Okay.
But it didn't appear to have anything. I mean, I think it's here in San Antonio. I remember that. Is that what you're seeing, Joe?
No, I mean, it just says, I haven't Googled anything. I'm just going from the
Oh, no.
stipulations.
I did.
I saw it in their file.
That there was a charge that was dismissed.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so there was a previous charge against you for capital murder
Yes, Your Honor.
that was dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And mind you, I'm not taking into consideration that you have a capital murder that's been dismissed because that was dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm just going through what's in the stipulations and I'm trying to figure out whether or not you would be appropriate for probation or not.
Here it comes, the moment that flips sympathy into disbelief. The prosecutor asks a simple question. How much money were you so angry about? His answer? $63. That's right, a threat to shoot up a gas station and kill innocent people over a missing $63 transaction. In that instant, the courtroom shifts. The stakes are no longer about a mistake. They're about impulse, danger, and control.
The $63 one, the one I didn't make, I originally just bought in a little vape, maybe like $15, $20. Then I was previously, or right after, shortly charged 63, somewhere roughly around the 60s for another charge that I tried to talk to them. They gave me the runaround and I lashed without thinking and talking.
So what ended up happening to the $630 that you said you were?
Never got it. So.
What, it was never charged?
No, it was charged. I'm still negative on it, but I've never got it back. I wound up talking recklessly, and then shortly after, I got incarcerated.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
All right, the court will hear argument.
Your Honor, I'll reserve.
Judge, I know this is not real important, but I've represented over a long period of time a lot of people that I thought when I gave them a push down the road on probation would probably be back in front of the judge. And this gentleman, since the very beginning.
Every defense attorney fears this part, when the past comes back like an echo: juvenile assault, deferred adjudication, family violence. Dorian insists he's changed, but his file says otherwise. His teenage anger may have never really left him. It just grew quieter. Now, under oath, every word he says is being weighed against the paper trail behind him.
Something, I think he just had a really bad slip up. I mean, that's probably not a good way of putting it, but I realize that the only way you can think about it is to wind up with 4 months in jail over $63, but saying a bunch of terrible things over it is pretty bad. I just think from what I've heard him talk about his job history, I didn't know much about that till today. I'm impressed by the fact that I think he can be a contributing member of society. I guess the best part about this guy, when I come back to the beginning of what I began talking to you about my time in this standing here in front of judges, is his insight. I think he's got more insight than the average person that I have. over the years where I thought they were going to be fine. I think stronger about this guy than I thought about them. I think he's figured it out. I think being in jail has probably, I'm guessing, been
A wake-up call.
been a real eye opener to Mr. Murphy.
But here's my question. You're 27.
Yes, Your Honor.
How old were you when this occurred?
26.
All right, so you were 26 and you have this juvenile history. Why wasn't that a wake-up call?
Been years since I believe I was 13 or 14.
And then-
I was still young, didn't understand. So after here for the time that I've sat and the seclusion from being outside, restrictions on access to things, just really an eye opener.
And let me just tell you, this is my problem. Well, not my problem. This is just something I'm going to tell you. The threats you made, it could have been $63. It could have been
This is the breaking
$100,000.
point.
But
The moment
according-
that ends any chance at probation. The judge reads Dorian's own words. Look my name up on Google for capital murder. It's shocking, not just because of what he said, but because he thought it was a way to intimidate others. When a defendant brings up capital murder, even a dismissed charge, it sets off every alarm in a courtroom.
it was, if I don't get my profanity in, say, 3 hours, I'm pulling it up to the store and shooting the place up. And you said it's 10:05 a.m. You got till 1:05 p.m. And then after that, you didn't even give them to the 1:05 p.m. deadline. Then after that, you tell them to look up your name and Google it for capital murder. And I would think that if you had grown from your juvenile days and you know that capital murder has been dismissed, you wouldn't even be bringing that up. But you just like, Google my name with capital murder. And then you come back and say, look, if I don't get my cash back by 1:05 p.m. today, I'm pulling up to that store and I'm shooting the whole effing place up. And then you say, I will crash TF out and go to jail and post this on media. Y'all had a chance. And then when I get arrested and the news asks why I shot up the store and everything, I will let it be known that I gave y'all a chance, literally stealing money.
Yes, Your Honor.
I just don't think you're appropriate for probation. You know, there's the criminal history. Then it would seem that once you're sending these messages, you would step back and think. And then the fact that you have a capital murder dismissed, and mind you, I'm not taking that as true, but for you to say, hey, Google my name with capital murder, like what frame of mind are you in when you do that?
I was out of state of mind for it at the time, Your Honor.
Okay.
And there it is, the final turning point. The judge takes a breath, looks him in the eye, and says the words that seal his fate. I just don't think you're appropriate for probation. 4 years in prison. A $1,500 fine. In her eyes, Dorian's remorse couldn't erase his threats or the fear he caused. It's not just a sentence, it's a message. Actions have weight, and words can destroy lives.
Served. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. You can't have any contact with any Shell station. And I don't know his criminal history, so
Are you?
The adult side, Your Honor, I can tell you from what I can see, he has, I just lost my page. I believe he has a misdemeanor theft. Yeah,
Mhm.
he has a conviction for misdemeanor theft and a misdemeanor ABI family.
all right. So counsel, you can, I'll retain jurisdiction.
Would you please make a note of that, Your Honor?
Oh, my mind's a steel trap. I'll remember it. Yes.
I may not.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, I'll make a note.
Maybe you can let me know, and
Well, I'll retain jurisdiction.
because the court usually asks for a report
Mhm.
in advance, just to alert the court to that.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking about the note.
Yes,
And if the court reads that report and then decides whether to bring him down,
yes.
it's already in the, you know how it works.
Mhm.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The number that you paid, was it for?
Yes,
You know, leaving 6 months.
I followed the agreement.
Dorian Murphy's story is a chilling reminder that one moment of anger can rewrite your entire life. The judge saw intelligence and potential, but also a man who couldn't control his temper. And in the end, that temper cost him his freedom. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.